So, look, the race is still going on. We don't know what's going to happen, right? We're still on pins and needles. It's been a lot of drama online, a lot of drama offline. And the conversation, it looks like it's coming down to Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden at this point, Elizabeth Warren, issues, whatever. There's a new poll. There's a new CNN poll that puts it in more perspective about what's happening as we are only a couple weeks outside of Iowa. Let's look at this video. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Here it is.
So not just breaking news, but breaking now is in.
We just broke it.
Right now. A brand new national poll on the 2020 race that we are releasing now. You are the first to see this. It shows Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden ahead of the pack, Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg significantly now behind the frontrunners. The biggest movement definitely comes from Bernie Sanders, steadily rising since October. Joining us now, CNN political director David Chalian. And David, this poll looks different than the ones we have seen.
It does, John, because of what you said. This 7-point movement since our last poll for Bernie Sanders. And for the first time in the entirety of this campaign in CNN's national polling, Joe Biden doesn't have the lead position all to himself. There's now a shared top tier between these two frontrunners. Take a look what's behind those numbers when you look at white voters and non-white voters. This is key. Sanders there is making up some ground in Joe Biden's core strength. He is now getting to a place, you see, with 30% of non-white voters. Biden has 27% of non-white voters in this poll. This has been an overwhelming advantage for Biden throughout the entire campaign. That is no longer the case in this poll. Remember, this is one poll. We will look to see as other data come out if other polls look like it. The other thing I want to point out here is that Bernie Sanders is consolidating the liberal base. He has been battling back and forth throughout the fall with Elizabeth Warren about getting those liberals together. And if you look over time here, you see back in October, Warren had a slight edge. November, Sanders had a slight edge. December, they were about tied. Well, now Bernie Sanders has consolidated that liberal base. 33% of self-identified liberals go with him in this poll. 19% go for Senator Warren.
I have to say it explains, or might help explain, some of the things that Warren has done over the last few weeks. Electability has been very important to Democratic voters up until now. What are we seeing with that?
And it is still so now, John. Take a look at this number. 57% say they are looking for a candidate. It is more important for the Dem nominee to have a strong chance of beating President Trump than only 35% who say shares your position. We had seen a little erosion of that electability priority in December. Well, this is bouncing back. And then take a look. We asked potential Democratic voters, well, who is the person you think can defeat Donald Trump? Who has the best chance? Joe Biden still has this as a very core strength. 45% in this poll say he has the best chance to beat Trump, then 24% Sanders, 8% Warren, 7% say that about Michael Bloomberg.
Did you look at the chart there? The chart says some things that were kind of funny there. I didn't know that, Bernie's beating old Biden with non-whites. This is something I thought was already known. Like, this was already happening. We have been talking about it. I talked about it. I spoke about it. So they like to focus on older black folks, but non-whites are Latinos, blacks, Asians, Native Americans. There's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. When you add everybody, because everybody votes, well, Bernie's polling better. This is national. Now, this is one poll, but I've already, this was something that was already told. Maybe this poll is just now they're having to report it because it's their own polling. The other thing is Elizabeth Warren. Important point. An important point that was made about Elizabeth Warren is how much she slid. And it's true. There was a time when people, whenever they mentioned Bernie Sanders, they mentioned Elizabeth Warren as if they were the same person. I was almost expecting Elizabeth Warren to take a DNA test and say that she was 50% Bernie Sanders. But now it looks like they're totally ruled not the same person because, well, Bernie's beating her like a rug and or an egg, like an egg. 33% to 19%. Ugh. It's not good. That's not good. I think the progressives kind of made a decision about who's truly progressive, and no manner of selfie accumulation is going to change that, guys. Which weren't really selfies anyway, Elizabeth. I mean, selfies something I take, like if I did this right now. Like, if I did this, one of these, like right now, this is. There you go. That's a selfie. Well, let me prove it to you. This is a selfie. There we go. Tim Black doing the show. Doing the show, Tim Black. That's a selfie. What you do when I say, hey, could you come get this? That's a picture. And maybe that's why it didn't work. Maybe that's why I didn't like boost you to the top of the standings in the polling, because people didn't like the fact you didn't understand what selfies were, that you weren't cool with what the young people were doing. That you just tried to co-op it and put your name on it and change it into a whole different thing just to seem cool. I don't know. Maybe that was it. Maybe it wasn't. Now, the part that's got Bernie kind of stuck is the electability angle. And there are some people who actually think that Biden is more electable. But that is largely, I believe, because the cable media won't report on Biden's horrible record. And that's the reason why it's important for Bernie Sanders to keep hammering away at things like Social Security, which, by the way, disproportionately affects the voting bloc that Biden does the best with. Older people. Older seniors and older black folks. Those are the people that Biden needs the most, and those are the people that are hurt the most by anybody who would go in and cut Social Security, particularly black folks who 90% of them rely on Social Security to retire with some form of at least traces of dignity as a human being. You know what I'm saying? So there we go. Now that's part one. We're going to talk about the other part, which is excitement. Excitement's important too.
You're seeing all this movement from Sanders, but they still think that Joe Biden has the best chance. And so that leads us to enthusiasm. So what does it say about that?
and you know, Allison, enthusiasm is critical. When you're talking about getting your supporters out, feeling enthusiastic about your choice is a key component to that. And that right now is a Bernie Sanders category. Take a look. You'll see he's at 38% now in terms of you would be enthusiastic if Bernie Sanders was the nominee. He was at 39% in October. Look at Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren there. They've dropped since we asked this in October. Warren went from 41% now to 29%. Democrats say enthusiastic if she's the nominee. 43% in October for Joe Biden, now at 34%. So Sanders and Biden are about the same. They're competitive there within the margin of error, but we've seen drops with Biden and Warren on this, and Sanders is holding steady.
Now, I know, David, you are very careful whenever talking about the head-to-head matchups with President Trump in a poll this early on. It is
people are pretty excited about a potential Bernie Sanders presidency. I like it too. It is exciting. Actually, some real change might happen, not just camouflage or nice words or bubbly rhetoric that makes you feel good. Tuck your kids in. People have good feelings about a future that in reality is bleak as hell. So real change is what people are looking for in some demonstrable fashion. It's real, that's tangible, that touches their lives. And Bernie Sanders is the best opportunity for that to happen. So, yeah, that's something to be excited about as opposed to Elizabeth Warren with this excitability that's not there. The enthusiasm's not there. It's going the wrong direction while Bernie Sanders is basically where it always was, pretty steady. Steady Eddie. So, there are other things that happen, other things that have been happening that I've taken notice of. For instance, this is pretty cool. This happened. South Carolina elected official now backing Sanders over Biden. That's right. That happened. There is a Doll Myers told the Associated Press on Wednesday that she was making the change in part because she values what she sees as Sanders' strength in being able to go toe-to-toe with President Donald Trump. It's important stuff, man. Important stuff. It says, here goes a statement that Doll Myers made. I looked at that and I thought, he's right, said Myers, a black woman first elected to the Richard County Council in 2016. He's unafraid and he's unapologetic. I like the fact that he's willing to fight for a better America, for the least, the fallen, and the left behind. Wow. In December, Myers, a corporate lawyer in Columbia, was among more than a dozen South Carolina officials to endorse Biden. Wow. But she changed her mind. It was a compromise choice, she said. I didn't find anyone's candidacy electrifying, but I did find Joe Biden's candidacy to be reassuring in a sort of normal American kind of way. But over the ensuing weeks, Myers said she started to feel that Biden's candidacy, while familiar and perhaps comfortable, wasn't going to be enough to inspire the young voters whom she sees as necessary to a Democratic general election win. Oh, my goodness gracious. The quarterback is toast. What if others start coming out and I'm doing my Andrew Yang hand impressions? What if these things happen? What if more people come out and then we have a coalescence of new voters who want change, something real and tangible? It could happen. And they could start rapidly leaving the ship of Biden, which is sinking. Help me. Help me. That'd be cool. That'd be real cool, guys. Real cool. Yeah, let's see if it'd be cool. All right. So we'll see what happens, guys. I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. One thing did go on, though, I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if it's going. It's a possibility that this is going on. It's a possibility that we could win the South. We could win the South. That's right. Could happen. It's looking good, looking possible. Win the South. I just did the interview I did with Philip Agnew, national surrogate for the Bernie Sanders campaign, campaigning right now. Could happen.